There's something most men never realize until it's far too late. Desire, when left unchecked, is not a force that builds their life, but one that quietly dismantles it from the inside out. It doesn't destroy through violence or sudden chaos. It works like erosion, slow, subtle, and invisible, until the day you wake up and realize your strength, focus, and purpose have all been drained into the abyss of momentary pleasures. Desire itself isn't evil, it's neutral energy. The same raw power that drives men to create, to fight, to love, and to build civilizations. But when a man allows that energy to control him instead of mastering it, it becomes the very reason he never becomes who he was meant to be. It's the silent assassin of masculine potential, the thief that steals from you not just what you have, but what you could have been. Every man is born with an immense reservoir of energy and potential. Inside, every young man lives the spark of greatness, a vision of what he could become if his willpower matched his ambition. But that potential is delicate. It needs time, patience, silence, and focus to grow roots and take form. When the mind becomes intoxicated with desire, that focus dissolves, and the seed of potential withers before it ever breaks the soil. The tragedy of the modern man is that he mistakes stimulation for satisfaction. He confuses the chase for women, the endless scrolling, and the pursuit of pleasure with real progress. Yet all the while, his energy is being scattered, piece by piece, until he's left wondering why his confidence, drive, and purpose feel hollow. The truth is brutally simple. When your energy is divided, your potential dies before it's even born. Desire, especially lust, is like fire. In the hands of a disciplined man, fire gives warmth, light, and life. But in the hands of an impulsive man, it burns his house down. Every time a man chases instant gratification, whether through sex, porn, or endless distractions, he is feeding that fire without direction. He thinks he's enjoying freedom, but in reality, he's deepening his chains. Look around, almost every man today is enslaved to his desires. He's constantly consuming, constantly seeking something to excite him, to distract him from the emptiness within. He believes he's living fully, but what he's actually doing is avoiding himself. The endless chase for pleasure isn't about pleasure at all. It's about escape. Escape from boredom, from pain, from silence, from the deep, uncomfortable question of, who am I really? When a man spends his energy chasing women, chasing lust, chasing stimulation, he's avoiding the process of becoming. Becoming takes discipline. It takes solitude. It takes confronting your own darkness, your fears, your insecurities, your unfulfilled potential. Desire offers an easy way out. It gives you the illusion of life without the responsibility of growth, and that illusion is deadly. Here's the bitter truth. Desire kills potential not by overpowering it, but by distracting it. It keeps you busy, it keeps you restless, it keeps you entertained, and in that restless motion, your stillness dies. You never sit long enough to hear your inner voice. You never stay disciplined long enough to see progress. You never channel your energy long enough to create something that matters. Every man who has ever built something great, whether it's an empire, a body, a purpose, or a legacy, has done so by mastering his desires. He's learned that discipline is not the absence of temptation, but the mastery of it. The moment you begin to say no to lust, you are not rejecting life. You are reclaiming it. You are redirecting your energy from consumption to creation. Retention isn't just about holding seed, it's about holding power. It's the practice of keeping what's sacred within you and allowing it to grow stronger instead of constantly releasing it into emptiness. When you retain, your body begins to remember what strength feels like. Your mind becomes sharper, your presence deepens. The same energy that once drove you to chase pleasure now becomes the fire that fuels your purpose. But here's what most men never understand. The longer you live in lust, the weaker your will becomes. Every indulgence lowers the standard of what you demand from yourself. You start believing that mediocrity is acceptable, that comfort is happiness, that pleasure is fulfillment. And once you start thinking that way, you're already defeated. You've surrendered the throne of your mind to your lower nature. The system around you encourages this. Society profits from weak men. It thrives on your distraction, your lust, your addiction to pleasure. Because when a man is ruled by his desires, he's easy to control. He doesn't question the world. He just seeks another fix. That's why everything today is designed to keep you overstimulated and underdeveloped. Lust isn't just a personal weakness. It's a societal weapon. When you start retaining, when you start mastering your energy, you begin to step outside of that system. You become dangerous, not in a violent way, but in a conscious way. You begin to see through the manipulation. You realize that every time you say no to lust, you're saying yes to your own evolution. And that's when your potential starts to breathe again. It's been waiting beneath the surface, buried under the weight of your distractions and desires, waiting for you to give it air. It doesn't take years to rise. It just takes a man deciding that he's done living as a slave. Because the moment you stop feeding desire, you start feeding destiny. When a man gives in to his desires again and again, something deep inside him begins to break. It's not visible at first. He still looks normal. He still laughs with friends. He still posts his photos online. But behind the surface, the structure of his mind is falling apart. His focus starts to slip. His emotions become unstable. He becomes easily distracted, easily manipulated, and worst of all, easily satisfied. Desire destroys potential by scattering attention. Every time you chase another hit of pleasure, your mind divides itself. Instead of being a sharp blade that cuts through resistance, it becomes a dull object that barely makes a dent in the world. Focus is what separates men who build from men who dream, and desire is the greatest enemy of focus. A man who cannot hold his attention cannot hold his power. You can see it in how men live today, constantly switching between screens, endlessly chasing validation, never able to sit still and think deeply. They don't know it, but they've become addicts. Addicted not just to pleasure, but to escape. And when you live your whole life running from yourself, you lose the ability to create anything meaningful. You can't build a strong body if you're always running to pleasure when the pain of discipline hits. You can't build a strong mind if you're always escaping silence when it becomes uncomfortable. You can't build a strong spirit if you keep releasing your life force every time lust whispers your name. Every time you fall to lust, you weaken the connection between your mind and your purpose. You're telling your subconscious that comfort is more important than growth. That feeling good for 5 minutes is worth more than becoming powerful for life. Over time, that belief hardens inside you. It becomes your operating system, the quiet, hidden code that dictates every action you take. And that's when you lose your edge. You start waking up late. You stop caring about your goals. You begin to envy other men who are doing better than you, even though deep down, you know you had the same potential. You used to dream big, but now those dreams feel distant, like they belong to someone else. And they do. They belong to the version of you that existed before desire hollowed you out. The more you indulge, the less energy you have to fight for your destiny. The body gets weaker, the eyes lose their fire, the spirit grows restless, unfocused, and cold. What's tragic is that most men don't even realize this process is happening. They think it's just stress, fatigue, or lack of motivation, but it's none of those things. It's depletion. It's the cost of 1,000 small compromises made in the dark. Every time you release your seed to lust, you lose not just physical energy, but mental sharpness. The ancient texts spoke about this long before science could explain it. They understood that the vital force within man, what some called life essence, chi or prana, was directly linked to his creative and spiritual power. When that energy was wasted through lust, the mind became foggy, the will weak, and the soul detached from its higher purpose. You can see the difference with your own eyes. Compare the man who retains, the one who disciplines himself, who controls his urges, to the man who releases without thought. One stands taller, his eyes carry depth, his voice has weight. The other looks restless, nervous, uncertain of himself. One commands respect without even speaking. The other begs for validation with every action. This difference isn't accidental. It's the result of how each man treats his energy. The retainer channels it upward, fueling his mind, his body, and his presence. The lust-driven man leaks it outward, chasing women, chasing screens, chasing anything that gives him the illusion of aliveness. But the truth is, pleasure cannot create life. It can only borrow it from you. Every orgasm, every indulgence, every moment of weak surrender is a small trade. Your long-term power in exchange for short-term escape. The modern man has been trained to believe that this trade is worth it, that he's not supposed to resist, that pleasure is freedom. But that's the greatest lie of all. Real freedom is not doing what you want whenever you want. Real freedom is having the power to say no when every cell in your body screams, yes. That's where masculine transformation begins. When you stop letting lust dictate your actions, you begin to reclaim control over your reality. You start building momentum, you stop reacting and start creating. Every day you hold your seed, your will grows stronger. Every temptation you overcome adds another layer of armor to your soul. But here's the thing, it's not easy. The path of retention will break you before it builds you. Because when you stop numbing yourself with pleasure, you finally start feeling the truth you've been avoiding. You'll feel your emptiness. You'll feel your fear. You'll feel your lack of direction. Most men quit right there. They can't face themselves without the distractions. They run back to lust to silence the noise. That's why so few men ever rise. The war against desire is not a battle against the body. It's a battle against the mind. The body only follows orders. It's the mind that decides what to serve, your higher self or your weakness. And the longer you choose weakness, the harder it becomes to remember what strength even feels like. But if you persist, if you keep holding your energy even when it hurts, something begins to change. The fog starts to lift, your thoughts sharpen, your emotions stabilize, your will strengthens. It's like the return of your true self, the one that had been buried under years of distraction and indulgence. That's when you begin to see that retention isn't about suppression. It's about transmutation. You're not killing desire, you're converting it. The same energy that once made you chase women now makes you chase greatness. The same fire that burned you now forges you. The energy didn't disappear, it simply changed direction. When a man finally understands that his desires are not innocent, everything changes. He begins to see that lust, comfort, distraction, all of it, was never designed to make him happy. It was designed to keep him weak. The world rewards the man who consumes, not the man who creates. And the easiest way to make a man a consumer is to keep him addicted to his own desires. When you stop obeying those desires, the system loses control over you. You start thinking clearly. You start feeling power build inside you. You begin to move differently, speak differently, and see differently. Your attention, once scattered across useless pleasures, becomes concentrated like a beam of light. That's when your potential is reborn. You've probably felt it before. That quiet strength that comes when you retain. Your posture changes, your thoughts deepen, your confidence grows. It's not magic, it's biology and energy aligning with your higher nature. You're no longer living as a divided man. You've gathered your scattered pieces and become whole again. Most men never experience this wholeness because they've never gone long enough without draining themselves. They think they're weak, lazy, or unmotivated, when in reality, they're just empty. Their energy is leaking faster than it's being replenished. But when you finally hold it, when you stop chasing women, screens, and stimulation, something incredible happens. You stop leaking, and you start radiating. The energy you used to waste now fuels your evolution. You begin to notice that you attract different things, opportunities, respect, even people. It's not luck, it's energy alignment. Life mirrors your internal state. When you radiate power, the universe responds in kind. This is why ancient traditions spoke of chastity, not as weakness or denial, but as a sacred path to mastery. The seed wasn't meant to be spilled carelessly. It was meant to be guarded, refined, and transformed into something higher. They understood what modern science is only beginning to rediscover, that sexual energy is creative energy, and how you use it determines the quality of your existence. When you transmute desire, your ambition multiplies, your vision expands, you begin to see possibilities where you once saw limits. Your energy starts to rise through your system, awakening higher faculties of awareness. You start to feel connected, not just to your goals, but to life itself. That's why many men on retention say they feel more spiritual. They're not imagining it. They're finally tapping into the higher purpose that their desires had been hiding. Desire, when left unchecked, destroys. But when mastered, it becomes divine fire, the fuel of greatness. The same energy that tempts you can also transform you. That's the paradox of masculine evolution. The strongest men aren't the ones without desire. They're the ones who have mastered it. This mastery doesn't come overnight. It's a process, one that requires patience, awareness, and humility. You'll fail sometimes. You'll relapse. You'll feel frustration and guilt. But every time you rise again, you're building inner muscle. You're teaching your subconscious that you're no longer a slave to your urges. Each victory, no matter how small, rewires your mind for strength. Eventually, your relationship with desire changes completely. You stop fearing it because you've learned to use it. You stop running from it because you understand it's part of you. You stop hiding from it because you know that suppressing desire only makes it stronger. Instead, you harness it. You channel it into your goals, your discipline, your purpose. When that happens, the world starts to respond differently. You begin to attract respect, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. You speak less, but your words carry weight. You walk into a room and people feel your presence. It's not arrogance. It's the silent confidence of a man who has mastered himself. And that's what the world needs now. Men who have mastered themselves. Not men who are perfect, but men who are disciplined. Not men who suppress their instincts, but men who direct them. Men who use their sexual energy as the foundation of creation, not the cause of destruction. When you hold your seed, you hold your destiny. You are literally holding the blueprint of life, the same energy that can create another human being. Think about that for a moment. What could that energy build if it was redirected toward your goals, your health, your spiritual growth? Retention is not just about semen. It's about transformation. It's about proving to yourself that you can delay gratification, that you can withstand discomfort, that you can lead your body instead of being led by it. That level of control changes everything. Your focus, your presence, your ability to attract, and your ability to build. When you learn to command your energy, you begin to live from the inside out. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become a creator of circumstance. The world bends to men who have mastered their inner world because they move with certainty while everyone else moves with confusion. That's why the greatest threat to mediocrity is a man who retains. He doesn't need validation. He doesn't chase pleasure. He doesn't beg for attention. His power comes from within, and that kind of power can't be taken, only given away. So the next time desire tries to pull you back, remember what's at stake. Every time you choose discipline over lust, you're rewriting your destiny. Every time you choose purpose over comfort, you're awakening a deeper part of yourself. And every time you conquer desire, you're giving birth to potential that would have died if you gave in. Desire destroyed countless men before they could become who they were meant to be. Don't let it destroy you too. Turn your desire into drive. Turn your pain into fuel. Turn your energy into power. And when you do, when you finally rise above the need for constant pleasure, you'll understand what few men ever do. That every time you master your desire, you take one step closer to becoming the man you were born to be. That's your mission, that's your discipline, that's the path. If this message resonated with you, brothers, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Silothos, and share this with a man who's ready to wake up. The movement is growing, and every man who learns to master his energy strengthens the collective. Stay strong, retain your power, and remember, your potential isn't lost. It's waiting for you to reclaim it.